I'm still dancing on the song. Hello, lovely people. Hello, beautiful people. I hope life is good. As you may see, there's a different background behind me. It's not because I painted my office, which actually I should do at some point. I should invest a little more in my background for videos at the office. But this week I am in Poland for engineering, tiny MC engineering offsite. So I'm just taking a break for the meetings to do the live stream, the DevRel show this week. It is also why we are on a different schedule. So hopefully, seriously, I don't. I hopefully you did not wake up that early, people in North America, to join the show. As much as I love the DevRel show, it's way too early for you. I think it's 5 a.m. if you're in the Eastern time zone right now. But here in Poland, it's 11 a.m., so it's a little more sustainable. But that may be a better schedule for people in Europe or people elsewhere that can join us. So anyway, thanks for joining us live, and always thanks for watching the recording. Today is amazing. I have a guest that we've been connected for a long time, but I don't think we never had the chance to even like talk, or definitely did not met in person, but also didn't have the chance to really like talk. And today is our day. We're going to be able to talk like for during the Devil show. So I have Martin with me, Martin actually. So who are you?
Hi, Fred. Thank you for having me. Uh, yeah, who am I? I am a French guy, 32-year-old, living in Asia at the moment, and I've been involved with the VLC project for about a little more than 8 years, I think. And that project started in the 90s, so it's a pretty old open source project, but still going pretty strong. And yeah, I guess we talk about that today.
Yeah, which is amazing. I mean, like I've been using VLC since I don't know. I would say forever because I feel like it's the case. I have a list of applications. Like when I get a new device that I
Right.
install, VNC is always on the top of that list because
Yep.
even if there is like a video viewer like on my computer, which is doing a great job, let's be honest, VLC
Sure.
is like just way better. I can watch any type of videos. It's just always working well. I even have it like even use it on my TV with an Apple TV when I
Apple
watch
TV.
video from my computer, and I'm just amazed about the product. So I was really happy when I connected with you, and I was like, you know what, I would love to have you on the show. So obviously, we will talk a little more about that during the
Sure.
show. But yeah, just I mean, I would be surprised if there are people out there that do not know about VLC. But if you don't, today is your day because we're going to talk a little more about that. But before we
Yeah.
do that, I know it's like always there every time. I love it. I'm just wondering what time is it for you right now? If I'm not wrong, if I'm not wrong, you're in India. So it's like maybe, I think it's a better time for you. I think it's like 2 p.m.
Afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So better time for you. So I know it's always a pleasure to have you watching us live on the show. And so, Martin, you said
Yep.
first, I love the hat. I need to say I love the hat.
Thank you.
That's amazing. For those of you that do not know, that's the logo. Actually, is it the logo of VLC or is it the logo of the company behind VLC?
Right. So there is a bit of context I need to explain yeah, to make things clear. So you have VLC, which is the main project that most people know. Actually, when I say VLC, some people don't know, but when I say the orange traffic cone, then they know. So it's yeah, sometimes they forget the name, but the logo sticks. It's a really good logo.
I mean,
Um,
there's something about. Sorry, I cut you, but
yeah, no,
there's something also about the traffic cone because where I live in Montreal in Canada, like in
yeah,
Quebec, Montreal is infamous for
It is.
construction, where there's always something that is being like redone. There is like those
Yeah,
cones are everywhere on
everywhere.
the streets.
Yeah, it's true.
So from my point of view, it's either like oh, it's VLC or it's Montreal. I actually
Yeah,
recently that our streets are so bad that
yeah,
like car constructor, they come to Montreal to test their cars,
right.
which is a little bit sad. But at the same time, you know,
It is.
winter and stuff, it's just a
Yeah,
great the streets. But like, yeah, sorry about that. I was just like those
no,
yellow,
no, for
those orange cone. They're
it
part
is.
of my day-to-day life, either with VLC when I'm on my computer or when I'm taking my car and driving
Right.
around the city.
Yeah, for sure. Um, right. So the open source project is actually administered by a non-profit organization. So when you said company, it's true. There is also a consulting company, but the people who mostly manage it are the community who are part of the non-profit organization. So yeah, the logo is definitely the logo of the project, but it's reused constantly within that non-profit organization. There are other projects that are also pretty well known within that organization. I'm thinking, for example, of X264, which is the main encoder for H264 videos, or the David DAV1D. I will share some links with you later on the main videolan.org website, but it's a decoder also made by VideoLAN. But yeah, the main project is definitely VLC. It's the most well known. It's the most consumer facing because, as I will show you later, VideoLAN makes quite a bit of software aimed at developers, but VLC can be used by,
Yeah.
people who are not developers to just play videos. So yeah, there are different types of software that the nonprofit makes. The logo, there is a funny story about the logo. At that point, at the beginning of the project, this was a student project in a school in France, and they had to pick a logo. And from what I understood, they had quite some fun with the actual traffic cones in real life, like inventing sports and all kind of games. And they ended up choosing that logo. They even collected like hundreds of cones in the school where they started to have problems with the transport authority. But eventually, they just it seemed pretty natural to pick the cone as a logo, and it stuck. And that's how they ended up with that logo.
I love that. I love a story behind a good logo because I, I don't know, like, and it's fine if you have a logo for the sake of having a logo, like you need something to represent your product or
Right.
your company. But
Yeah.
that story make it even more amazing from my point of view. Whether you relate with the fact that like they had a lot of cones and played games and invented stuff with it, like, still
Right.
there is a story beyond like why is it a cone. And I love that you shared that because weirdly enough, I never asked myself why is that the logo. I just like
Right.
it's the logo, it's the logo, and I took it
Yeah.
in. But also,
Sure.
it's a recognizable logo. I mean,
It
like usually
is.
when I see that again, it's in my case, it's either because like it's construction or it's VLC
It's,
because it's
yeah.
the logo, it's recognizable. As far as I know, and I do not know all the logos in the world, but like there's no logo that are that close to this one. So it's really like
Right.
it's unique,
It's very
and it
unique.
yeah, and it's been there.
Yeah.
It's been there forever. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
love that. Love
Definitely.
that. So, folks, if you may not know, it's right now during the show. It's two French-speaking people doing the show in English. Two different like I wasn't going to say dialect. It's not true, but like two different accent when we speak French, but
Accent.
doing the show
Yeah.
in English. So about that. You know, you were talking and saying like it's a nonprofit, nonprofit behind VLC, and
Right.
and not just VLC, but like a lot of like other projects that companies the nonprofit is working on,
Yes.
and it's open source and it's also free. So when you were saying those things, I was like, damn it, like, Fred, you're not a good person. I mean, I've been using VLC since forever. I did not contribute to the code in any ways, but I also did not contribute to, I mean, like, you're an employee, you need a salary. Even if you're a nonprofit, you need money to function. Maybe it's
Sure.
above your pay grade, or maybe you have an answer to that, but two question about that, like, how does it work? Like, how does the nonprofit survive for that long? Hopefully
Right.
there is better human than me. And the second question is
No,
for
there is
me, it's about no, there's the second question is like, yeah, how can someone like me could like help the company? Because again, that software, VLC, at least, like, in the past I used the encoding, decoding libraries and stuff like that. Right now a little
right.
less, because I code less and I do not need those anymore for my work. But
Sure.
VLC, it's nearly daily, so I need to give back. So how can I do that?
Right. So the VideoLAN nonprofit accepts various kinds of contributions. It could be hardware, because we are available on a bunch of platforms, as you know. So we need to constantly test the apps on all kinds of Android, iPhones, old iPhones. We still support Windows XP on the stable VLC version.
Oh
Yeah.
well.
So there is a bunch of hardware that could be useful potentially. Documentation, localization, code, support. I mean, the
Open
usual
source, so
suspects are always welcome. I think we also accept financial donations, but to be clear, the nonprofit organization of VideoLAN has not so much expenses, because we don't really employ anyone. There is no salary that is being paid to any member. It's completely community based. However, when you have 500 million active users and
yeah.
a bunch of software everywhere, you can't, of course, only rely on volunteers, right? Because they have their life, their day jobs, and all kind of commitments that will make it very difficult to maintain software of this size. So about 13 years ago, Jean-Baptiste Kampf, which is the guy that created the nonprofit organization, also founded a consulting company that is called VideoLabs. You could make the parallel with Mozilla, for example, which is doing a lot of open source. It has a Mozilla Corporation, but
Yeah.
there is also a Mozilla nonprofit. So it's a similar model, if you will. And so the VideoLabs company has about 20, 25 full-time employees. And these people are doing a lot of work on the VLC apps, on all kinds of software that VLC depends on. And we provide consulting and build customization, new features, bug fixes, maintenance contracts to various customers, large companies, smaller companies. Really, we have a very varied kind of customer base.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. So that was one of my question, because every guest on the show, I ask them like, "Hey, send me the links you want me to share during the show," and you shared me links about Video Labs, but also
Sure.
VideoLAN, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm like, I've been using VLC for a while, but like I did not know the distinction between those two. So now it gave me a lot more information. So I like that.
Right.
So you work. So if I understand correctly, you work for Video Labs. You're an employee there.
Yes, but most people who work for VideoLabs are also a member of
Yeah.
the VideoLAN nonprofit. It's very intertwined, I would say. Another community that is very close to VideoLAN, and people are in both many oftentimes, is FFmpeg.
Oh.
Well, yeah, a lot of developers from FFmpeg are also contributors to VLC and vice versa. I think their Git repository was hosted on VideoLAN infrastructure for a while, and when we meet for the video developer days once a year, the whole VideoLAN nonprofit organization gets together. The FFmpeg people are usually around as well. Yes.
Oh, that's great. So that explains why the quality of both software are great. I mean, like I use FFmpeg quite often to convert video and stuff, and like it's also
Right.
a great, amazing open source software, folks. If you do not know, it's just amazing. If you like the command line, though, I'm a big fan of. Like I spend most of my time in the terminal, so
Sure.
FFmpeg is like the best. One of the best software for that. So part
Right.
of Video Labs, you have quite a title at a company. I'm looking at your LinkedIn right now because I did not remember, but like a senior open source developer, advocate, community maintainer. What does that mean? Like you have a lot of,
I,
of,
I,
of
I just
hats.
made that up. I just made that up. But yeah, I mean, I initially was hired to maintain and retire gracefully the Xbox VLC application, which was unmaintained for a few years, and that needed to be retired. So I started working on that, and then after a while, I switched to LibVLC,
Mm.
um, which is it's a bit like Git and libgit, if you would. People know VLC is the application, but many people, many developers are not aware that there is a library that encapsulates VLC features into a reusable piece of software component that you can just use to build your own multimedia apps. So it's libVLC, library of VLC, essentially. And I started working on that about 6 years ago. And I guess that's also when my developer relations effort started, because my users became developers
Mm.
instead of anyone who could use the video player. My users were developers, so that's where I started doing developer reach out, various kind of communications around our efforts on LibVLC.
Okay, I like that. Andy was commenting. Andy, I just made that up. Brilliant. Uh, that is brilliant. I wrote a blog post like so many years ago about titles, um, because I do not care about titles, to be honest, personally. And I respect people that care about titles, but I do not
Sure.
care about titles. But the thing, though, is that a lot of people care about titles, so it's kind
Sure.
of important in a way. Like even if I personally do not care about title, but I respect like places where you can basically create a title that reflect your day-to-day work, because sometimes like the company has like predefined titles that may
Right.
not be totally encompassing like
Okay.
everything you
Right.
do day to day, and yours is
Yep.
like, yeah, there is three jobs in one, but still it is what you do. So it's
It is.
important that it reflects what you do actually, uh, because
Right.
like if you quote unquote just have senior open source developer, it's fine because it's part of your job. But like, what
It is.
about the community maintainer? What about the developer relations, like the developer advocate role? And the same way is like if you only have advocate or you only have community maintainer, it does not show like everything you're doing in
Right.
the company. So I love that.
Right.
I just love that. So having, I mean, actually you have more than 3 jobs, because developer advocate is like already like 10 plus jobs in one. So you have that
Right,
community maintainer is 2 3 job, developer, depending on the size of the company or how many people are on the same project, it's also
right.
another like 3 4 5 10 jobs. So what is happening with having 30 jobs? What does your, maybe you don't have a day to day, but like I just want to learn a little more about like what you do and how you manage all that.
Okay.
Big question, sorry.
Right. Uh, it's I try to do a bit of everything and uh, focus on the most urgent task, I guess. But yeah, there is a lot of context switching because for the community side, for example, I try to regularly have a look at the VideoLAN forums. There is also a Discord I created, LibVLC community server, where we have people from every programming language using libVLC, sometimes posting messages. So I try to help out when I can, because libVLC is a C library. C can be used by most programming languages, right? So then you can have a C++ developer or a Go developer or a JavaScript developer or Java, all kinds of Python. You know, any language will be able to connect and call into libVLC, and then those are all they all have their own ecosystems, these programming languages and communities. So I created that Discord to try to regroup everyone,
Mhm.
because essentially they are all using the same library. It's just that they're using different language to talk to it. So it's about 1,500 people right now, and every day I try to to help out when someone is asking something, or sometimes people are just sharing cool stuff that they built with libVLC, which is also nice.
I
um
like I like that that you created Discord. I feel like from the developer relation part of your job, from the community, or even from the developer part of your job, having a
yeah,
community is super beneficial, because that gives a home to people to like be actually part of a community and feel like they're part of a community. And it's super beneficial for you, because yes, that means like maybe you have to do a little more support, but at the same time, if there is no place for people to ask question or have support,
yes,
they may not use the software, they may not use the library,
right,
which means like you won't have users. It's also great to like build that also developer community or contributor community, or identify
right,
potential people that could help you to achieve
for
your
sure.
goals. So yeah.
Yep, definitely. Yep, I think it's been helpful to quite a few people, and yeah, I'm happy it's there. I also do spend quite a bit of time on GitLab and GitHub to triage issues and look at bug reports, feature requests, potential pull requests. I just got an email today from someone who would like to contribute a pull request on the VLC for Unity integration, which is also a component I maintain, which is essentially uh, integrating VLC within the Unity 3D game engine, because
Mm.
people sometimes they need video inside their video games for some reason, and they don't like the the default video player provided by Unity is too limited for whatever they need. So they want VLC. For example, we had, I think, a project with EA Games that integrated VLC inside their FIFA football game series, so
Nice.
that they would they basically integrated a live feed of, like, think of like Twitch. They integrated a live feed of the player looking at his screen and playing within the game, so that both players can see each other while playing, but all of that is in game. So for that,
That's
VLC
nice.
was used, for example. So yeah,
That's nice. I have just before I let you continue, sorry I cut you, but like
No, no,
there's
please.
actually I wasn't sure about like how many people would come live because of the change in time, but actually I think it's going well. People have some comment or question. Ron was saying like,
Sure.
hey, thanks for keeping VLC as VLC. Uh, I'm not quite sure what you mean, Ron, by that, but from my point of view, how I understand it is I've been using VLC for years, and like you actually I think that is you kept VLC as a VLC. I mean, like you had a new feature, but like it's still the same interface that we use, that we know, that we like. So many like holder product, like at some point there is like someone that decided to do a full revamp of stuff, and you start from like a software that you've been using for years, and they change all the UI, they change all the user experience, and it's not the same great experience that you had. And maybe it's because we don't like changes, but at the same time, quite often, maybe it's just me, but quite often those changes are not good.
Right.
And I feel VLC cap is like true nature of like it's easy to use, but if you go just a little bit under the hood, holy shit. Like there's so many things you can do with it, and so many
Right.
configurable options and feature that I just love that.
Speaking of that user interface redesign, uh, this will change.
Damn it.
but but we will still provide an option in the settings to keep the current interface. Okay,
Okay.
because it's been quite a bit of time since that interface was designed. This is 2025, so we have a quite a large share of people who think like you that the interface is minimal, it's good, it's easy to use, it's there is no bloated
Yeah.
stuff, you know. But then we also have users who complain that it looks like the 2000s software,
Mm.
and that they want something more modern without being bloated, but still that's a bit nicer to look at, I guess. Even though in a video player, the user interface is not necessarily what you look at the
Yeah.
most. But anyway, so for the current stable version of VLC is 3, and we are working on version 4, which has been in development for quite a few years. But the nightly builds are available for anyone to download and test, and you will be able to get a preview of the new UI, which I think looks good. But if you want to stick to the current older UI, there will be an option to do that. So that way, nobody is, you know,
I
pissed
like that
off.
though. I like that. And let me be clear. I'm not saying that all UI revamp are bad. It's just like
Sure.
most of the time, the revamp is like it's like it's a completely new application, and it's hard
Right.
to find stuff that
Yep.
were easy to find before you get used to it. So I'm not saying I'm against progress or I'm against changing the UI. It's
I
just
know. I
like
know.
sometimes it's bad. But I really love the fact, it's that way of thinking that I really love, because it's like, yeah, we're going to change the UI for something we think is better, but we know because it's a fact. Not everybody's going to love it. Even like if the
Yep.
designer and the developer did an amazing job, like you
Sure.
cannot please everyone, but actually you
No.
can, because this is what you've done. Like you're gonna have a new UI. If you like it, fine. If you don't, yeah, go in the settings somewhere, and you're gonna be able to revert back to the previous UI. So, which probably a pain to maintain from that point on the
Exactly.
developer side. So I appreciate
Yes.
that option, but for the user, that's amazing. And Ron join us just a bit later after we explain that, but and tell me
Right.
if I'm wrong, but VideoLAN is the non-profit behind VLC. Am I right?
Yes. VideoLAN is a non-profit. VLC is one of the projects and the most well-known project of VideoLAN. That is correct.
Wonderful. And we have my man, our shit, who was the
Hello.
guest on the previous show. Say, hey, Fred and Martin. And I'm laughing just because if you watched the last episode, folks, or if you did not, please watch it. But at the beginning, our shit had a way to tell people how to pronounce his name. Like it's either harsh shit, or if people struggle to pronounce it, it was like, just think about horse shit. and you can just call me
Okay.
horse shit. So I just thought it was. I told him during the show, I'm like, now that you said that, every time I'm gonna talk to you, I'm gonna think about horse shit, and I'm gonna start laughing like I'm 5 years old, because it's true. I'm 5 years old most of the time.
We
So
all are.
thanks for joking. Thanks for joining the show. So on that note, Martin, you that's weird to me to say your name like with an English accent, like Martin.
Either way, we can
Actually,
do it in
even
French.
my accent probably in Quebecois doesn't sound like how you would like your name to say. Like in
No, it's
French,
fine.
Quebecois, that would be Martin. What? How do you
Sure.
say it? Sorry.
No, I said sure. But I mean, either way, it's fine. You know, I have a French accent, so I can't really complain about other people's accent.
So how do you with French from France? How do you say your first name?
Martin.
Yeah, so people, you see the difference a little bit between like my Martin and is Martin. It's just
Right.
a little bit.
Yeah.
And for people that do not know, we understand each other when we talk Quebecois and French
Yes.
people, except if we go in specific idiom. I used to work, not for long, for about a
Sure.
year, for a French-based company in Paris, and we understood ourselves most of the time. But once in a while, the team was like, Fred, can you explain what you're trying to say? Because I was like, we don't know what you're trying to say, and the other way around once in a while. But globally, we
Right.
understand ourselves
Yeah, for sure.
quite a lot. So I feel that thanks a lot for making us understand a little more like the company, the nonprofit, your job also, which again I love the title that you created for yourself. But I feel like now would be a great time to move to the demo part of the show, because we could continue to talk
Sure.
forever. And
Okay.
if I remember, you're going to show us some LibVLC, the C# library, some samples of what has been built with it. Am I right?
Yes, you are correct. Let me just share my screen, I guess.
Yes.
Present number 2. Can you see my
We
screen?
can.
Okay. So before I show you some code and I do the demo, I will just provide a little bit of context so that you understand what I'm showing you. Okay. So NuGet is the package manager for .NET. It's the NPM or Maven or whatever other package manager that there is for other programming languages. So we have an account on that, and there is a bunch of packages. I just want to explain the 2 different types so that then you will be able to understand the demo better. The first type is libVLC. libVLC package is the native engine of VLC. So it's the DLLs that are used by your VLC application, essentially. So it's C, mostly C code, bit of assembly, bit of C++. And it's packaged in this way on the NuGet package manager. If you just install this, you can't really use it from .NET, right? Because it's native code. So unless you write some binding component, which has been written for you, which is called LibVLCSharp, which basically allows you to write regular C# and in a few lines of code, call into libVLC, the native component, and then you have a media player running, basically. We haven't talked too much about libVLC. I can talk about it for hours, literally, because I wrote a book about it. So I just want to say that it's very portable. Portability was one of the chapters, and it runs everywhere. As you can see, VLC runs everywhere. It's true of libVLC as well. Any Android, iOS, like Windows, Mac, Android Auto, tvOS, any CPU architecture, any operating system will basically run it because it's super portable and it's built to be that way. The cool thing about .NET is that it is the same. .NET runs everywhere as well. So when you combine both, you essentially get a super portable piece of software where you can just write code once and have it run everywhere.
Nice.
It's a GitLab. I just wanted to show, so supported platforms. Just to give you an example, there is a few integrations with various graphical user interface toolkits, such as Cocoa if you're using Mac, WPF, UWP for Xbox, whatever. But essentially, I just wanted to share a bit about this. Before I show you this, I have a samples repository with a bunch of samples, Chromecast, HLS, if you play RTSP, which is most cameras with multiple screens, for example, music player, gestures, because you can potentially move the 360, if you have a 360 video, you can navigate within the video using mobile gesture. So that's supported by the main VLC app. I think there is a video here. That is not what I wanted to show you, but I will show you very quickly.
That's good.
Notes. Yes. So that's a main VLC. There we go. Come on.
I need to. I was not quick enough to.
See?
Oh, nice.
Anyway, okay, enough, because otherwise I can show you all the samples, but I will just show you one, and I picked something really simple. All of these samples are open source, so you can just look at the code, clone them, run them. But since I guess most viewers are not familiar with this library, I just wanted to pick the minimal sample just so that people can understand how to get started, right?
Makes sense.
So this is a Windows WPF sample with only this code. So it's very simple. You can see the app is empty. This is also empty. The packages, there is LibVLCSharp that I mentioned. There is a WPF integration. And then you have the native engine here. So what the code does is very simply, it just waits for the main view to be loaded, the video view. And then we initiate a LibVLC instance, a media player instance, create a new media. This is the video we're going to play, Big Buck Bunny, but you can give it a local file URL or anything. And then we just attach the video player to the view and call play, essentially. And then if I start it, yeah, it is. And that is, let me just switch that here. There we go. And that is the same code on all platforms, essentially. So this code can be reused on Android, on iOS, on tvOS, on Mac, on Linux, even on WebAssembly soon, because we have a prototype of VLC running inside the browser.
That is great. The Big Buck Bunny gave me nightmare at some point because that was the video that I'm gonna tell my age now, but like when HTML5 was like a new thing, and I was giving a lot of talks about like the new stuff in HTML5, and that was basically the videos that most of us were using for demos. Actually, I'm not sure why. Maybe because it's just like a free and commercial use videos that you can use, but like VLC was using it and still using it in their demo. I was using it in all my demos, and at some point, like, I love it's a beautiful video, but at some point I was like, I cannot see that video anymore.
Yeah, of course.
I love that. So just a couple of line of code, really easy to use. I assume like there is with everything that your team is doing, I assume there's like great documentation also behind it. So if one wants to learn like how to implement, how to use that, it's going to be easy to do so.
Yeah, I mean, documentation is something we always need to work on, right? But
Always.
yes, there is quite a bit of documentation on the libVLC side, as well as samples available for most programming languages. So if you install whatever you need to be able to run them, then you can get up and running pretty quickly. Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So yeah, I think it's is there anything else you wanted to show us, or you don't have to, it's just and I know you could show us things for hours, so it's just like because I was going to end the show and I was like, you know what, maybe I should ask Martin before if
I
there's
think,
anything
yeah,
else.
no, I think that's mostly it. But yeah, on the links that we can share later, there will be definitely more information if people want to dig into specifics stuff. Yeah.
Wonderful. And we have Jakey and that's a like very interesting. Gotta go. Thanks, guys. You know, good timing for you because I feel like it's the end of the show. So thanks a lot, Martin, for being a
Thank you.
guest on the show. I think it's nice to understand a little more like how it's working behind. I would say one of the most used application out there. I am saying that, and I'm pretty sure it's true. Anything else you want to share with folks before we let them go?
So far, so good. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So thanks everyone for joining us live. Thanks also for the people who gonna watch the recording because maybe it was a little bit early for you. And Anuj, thanks Fred and Martin, our very own pleasure. So folks, I wish you a good beginning or rest of the day, and see you in 2 weeks for the next DevRel show.